Hi, I'm Dave Worzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today's Spotlight is on education, and to take a look at education, we're talking with Principal Eric Olsen at Stagg High School and Dr. Michelle Augustyniak, Associate Principal at Stagg. And we're in that summer period. Thank you both for being here. We're in that summer period. I know we think of the school year being very busy, but this is also when a lot of things get done to prep for the next year, right? So I want to talk about what's going on at Stagg coming into this next school year. Before we get that, though, I know you both have some educational background. How long have you been in your roles in education?
I'm going into my 21st year as principal at Stagg High School.
Wow. How many years total in education then?
A lot. I started in '96, so
Okay.
I was an English major like you, so the math is not so good, but a long time.
I know you do hit that point where I'm not sure how many years it is anymore, right? It's been a while.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
21 years.
I'm going into year 13 in the district, 6 in this role.
Okay.
I've had the opportunity to be a division chair, a guidance director, and now associate principal.
Wow, okay. So bringing a lot of hats to the
Yes.
table. That's great. All right, let's take a look at, now let's do the dive into Stagg High School. I know you guys have regular maintenance things, regular projects like that. Are there any bigger projects that are going on campus?
Not as big as the additions that we had
Right.
put in, right? Which we were so lucky to get and have been so valuable. This year we have projects. We have a major stadium lighting is being completely replaced. So that's just about completed at this point.
On schedule for the start of the school
On
year.
schedule for the start and for the first athletic events of the school year. So
Which are coming up really quick in August here, right?
Really quick.
Just over a month away, I think.
yeah, really quick. So that's exciting. That work's getting done. Resurfacing of the track. And then inside the building, we're continuing our process of updating and refurbishing hallways, making them feel lighter and brighter and just much more welcoming for students. So that's getting done. Some more bathrooms are being refreshed as well. So nothing as really grand and glorious, but all really necessary things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about owning your own home, right? All the maintenance that you constantly do to keep it livable, fresh, enjoyable, right? In this case, to accommodate, 2,700 students,
Yeah.
right? How about if we look at the other side, like curricular changes, whether they're at the district level or the state level? I don't think there's any federal impact taking place right now, right?
Not at the federal level, but when it relates to curriculum and instruction, Dr. Augustyniak is our lead
So you brought
in
the
the
expert
building.
in.
So
Okay,
right,
so the
I knew you were
spotlight-
going to ask
Yeah.
these weighty questions, Dave. So I brought the best to kind of be
All
able to
right.
share that.
Something that I think is going to have an impact in our classroom is our adoption of our AI acceptable use policy. And going into the school year, we're really going to adopt a model kind of like a stoplight, red, yellow, green, where teachers have the opportunity on individual assignments and in their classroom to determine, can AI be used on an assignment or not? And kind of really taking the opportunity to teach kids how to use it appropriately, making sure that they as humans have the final voice in what they're sharing, and really kind of owning that. So I think that will have a really positive classroom impact, but there's going to definitely need to be some education that goes along with it as we begin to work with the tool.
Let's say that will be probably an experiential thing for the kids in the classroom. That's going to look different than what they've had in the past, right?
Absolutely. And for our teachers, right? Like figuring out the best assignments and how to really leverage it in the classroom is something that we'll continue to learn as we
Right.
go.
What is this experience is, no, this is a red. You're not using it for this, but here's a place you might, right?
And what are the tools that are appropriate
Right.
to use? Because there's so much AI out there.
Right.
Is which kind of tools? Because within AI systems and within systems at schools, right? You have open systems and you have closed systems, right? So we're a Google school, right? And so the AI associated with Google, right, is a closed system, right? So that means it can get information in, but private information, the work that students do or that staff do, doesn't go out back into the realm of the internet where other AI can grab it then.
Okay, so as an example, that if a student creates a product, whether it's an essay or a visual, whatever the thing is, the product, that product is within the school district. Somebody on the outside can't pull that thing.
Correct.
Okay. As a parent, I think I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As a student, I think I would like that idea. And the importance of distinguishing, so schools are, is that typical, or do you know, are all schools closed systems?
You know, I don't know if it is, if it's mandated or regulated in any sort of way, but I think that degree, because we're dealing with confidential information involving students,
Right.
And using technology kind of in that way, it kind of has to be a closed system,
Right.
in order to kind of keep that from flowing in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And I guess, and you've spoken to this, but I'll put it out there a little bit, is, in the general public, I think there is concern about AI's role in our society, in our workplace, how it'll impact, career opportunities. To have a policy like this at the high school level seems very helpful. They're going to need to use it at some point, right? It's unavoidable. So it looks like that's part of the curriculum, is to determine how it can be used effectively. Right?
Absolutely.
How and what are the appropriate AI tools, right? A Chat GPT versus a Gemini versus helping teach kids what tools are reliable tools, but regardless of the tool, again, to speak to what Michelle said, right, is in the end, the author is the one that is giving the permission, right? And so that students have to review all of their sources, where they're getting that information, and making sure it's correct.
Good.
There's really some cool features of it too, where kids can create study bots using course materials that they've had through the entire unit. So the bot will continue to challenge them based on what was included in that unit. So something that, again, kind of working smarter, not harder. And study habits and things like that are things that we hope to be able to see.
It sounds like a great supplement to help that student, get the extra help or help in another way.
Right.
Well, good luck. I'm going to look for the follow-up on this a year from now.
There you go. We'll see.
It might be a whole segment.
Any other curricular things going on? I'm trying to think whether either subject areas, anything else out there?
Yeah, not in relation to subject area, but I think an important point that the public should know is the Illinois State Board of Education changed its accountability model for schools.
Oh, yeah.
So the school report card, as we all know it, and so the actual system itself has changed, and the metrics have changed on that as well. And so that naturally affects districts, it affects schools, right? And so, with those changes, some of the things that were emphasized before aren't emphasized as much now, and new things have risen to the top with that. The structural changes is it's no longer percentage based, right? Only a certain number of schools or percentage of schools are allowed to attain certain status within the accountability model. Now the metrics are hard, fast, metrics. So if your school meets that metric, right, then they get that designation regardless of where they fall compared to other schools within the state.
Okay, so a standards-based or a mastery, like do you achieve this level?
Correct.
Right? Put you on the spot. I mean, how does this new system seem going into it better or fairer, would you say?
I think it's
Or
more
you'll find
fair
out in
because
August, or
Well, I think it's more fair because it sets the mark of what you need to achieve, right? The previous system, it was kind of a rolling scale, and you weren't sure where other schools in the state were going to perform and where you were going to land. So at least now you know what you need for a certain level of proficiency, essentially.
That's a good point.
I mean, I think that the biggest shift for us is going to come through ACT. Right, we've always been used to measuring our junior level students on the standardized test. Well, now it's figuring in all grades 9 through 11, both proficiency on the test and growth on the test. So we're needing to look at the way that we're including ACT skills differently. I think we're going to continue to see us give fall and spring exams to make sure that we're able to really work with students in a way that they're each growing individually. Right, really that focus on, are you getting better from test to test? I think you see that a lot at the middle school levels. There's a ton of emphasis on IAR coming in, and this will be an extension of that going into ACT.
And the growth seems like an interesting component to make sure is included. Where did that person start? Where did they finish? Well, good luck with the new system. I would imagine it's got to feel good to me as you're talking about. It's like a moving goalpost thing. No, now here's the standard. Make the standard, and you'll get the rating.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good luck. It sounds like a better system. And there's one other thing I did want to ask you about. We've read in the press about the cell phone ban in schools. How does that impact Stagg High School?
So I think we're positioned in a pretty good place. The different versions of the bill that was downstate has changed. It's adjusted. It went from that phones needed to be locked up and put away all school day to it's changed back and forth. We're pretty much in a place where, with the new cell phone policy, we already have the structures in place to implement it with relative ease and probably relatively low impact on students. We already have in our classrooms, we call them cell phone cubbies. The kids might call them cell phone jail. But they're basically pouches that when students come in, if the teacher has that rule, then students have to place their cell phones in those pouches when they come in.
Or they can put it away themselves?
Yes, or if it's turned off and put away, they can still keep it on their person, right? But it has to be in a backpack or something like that so that they can't readily access it.
Well, do you think you'll get pushback from students on this, or have what you've been doing kind of like, no, we're there already, or this is an easy transition?
No,
I think we're positioned to be in a space where it's not going to be a huge transition for kids. I think, right, teachers already have expectations in their classrooms about cell phones. I think this will be an extension of that, and I think we'll be okay.
Good.
Yeah, and what we found, oftentimes is to implement anything, it takes 4 years, right? If you start a new policy, your juniors aren't going to like it, right? Because they've had 2 years of the policy not being there.
Yes.
Right, yeah, they know the other way. Freshmen, they don't know any different, right? And so they come in, I think, much more ready to adopt a new policy.
This is how it is.
Yeah, right. And so I think, like anything that's phased in, what we've found with the changes we made over the last 2 years, like with the cell phone copies being in place, those sorts of options that all teachers have because they're available in every classroom, students were really pretty good about it. We didn't have major issues. We saw reductions in referrals for inappropriate cell phone use, like those sorts of things. So
I would even imagine there might be students who kind of appreciate, maybe they don't want to say it publicly, but appreciate getting a break from the thing, right? Putting it away. And well, good luck. I know as a parent, but also as a former teacher, the idea of the phones being controlled better to remove that distraction, from the classroom. Right. We've all seen it. What they can type with their thumbs while not looking.
I don't know how much time.
It's impressive.
I don't know. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a generational skill I do not have. Well, good luck. But it sounds like there's some really good things going on, and I'm excited for you in the next school year. But I do want to ask a couple last questions here. One is, it is the summer, and there are a lot of teachers out there refreshing, recharging their battery, or there are students who are, they get to walk away. How do you two get to recharge, or what do you do, or when does that happen for you?
Let's hear from you first.
Well, I have a 13-year-old lacrosse player, and when you have a lacrosse player, you travel with them to their lacrosse tournaments, so that's typically where our family vacations take us. We just returned from Philadelphia, which was really interesting to be able to be there for the 250th while they're hosting the World Cup. My true happy place is probably by the water. Doesn't matter if it's the beach, the pool, or the lake. So we made it out to the Jersey Shore for a day. So we could do the beach, which was really fun. With kids at the ages of my kids, I do their youth sports, and I love watching my kids compete, and that's kind of what I do.
As you're talking, I'm thinking about, yes, to be in Philadelphia for 250 and also the World Cup going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cool things.
It was a trip that was worth it. It was warm, to say the
Yeah,
least.
we've all had, yes.
There was all the heat in Philadelphia, but it was a fun city to be part of.
Good.
We bring up World Cup, which is really big in the Olsen household. We watch all the games.
Do you?
We're World Cup and Olympics.
Okay.
Everything else stops, right? So that's been certainly really exciting this summer. But then I'm going to Miami to visit my son. He's in the Army. He's stationed out there, and so we're going to have an opportunity to spend a week out there with him and do all of the Miami things.
Miami tourist things.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have better weather than we're having up here, right?
Well, I think it's actually been cooler there than it has been up here.
You saw if you're watching the World Cup, you saw the weather in Mexico City last night in the 60s and raining.
Yeah. But they're also, that altitude
Right, a little different.
at Azteca Stadium is
Okay.
a little bit higher up.
Well, enjoy Miami. I hope you have a great time visiting with your son. Final question for both of you. We think of schools as being quiet, and they are quieter in the summer than the school year, obviously, but I know there's a lot going on. But here we are in mid-July, or headed towards mid-July. School will be starting up in about a month and a week or so. What do you look forward to heading into the next school year?
I think that, right to your point, we are in a people business.
Right.
And we thrive on having a busy building with lots of kids and lots of teachers around. And the summer's nice. Winter break is nice for a quiet building. But just that energy that comes back when everybody comes back is something that I really look forward to. When we're in a routine is something that's really nice, right? We want to make sure the kids are in the seats, teachers are doing what they need to do, and school's moving. Like, that's a really good feeling. And just, right, seeing what the year brings. Like, we've put a lot of structures in place the last few years that have seen some growth in some areas that have been really exciting, and see some of those things continue to happen, I think will be super fun this year.
Listen, that is a very fulfilling, rewarding type of thing, right? To watch you envision something and to watch it come to fruition is such a wonderful thing. Yeah.
It's an amazing thing seeing the start of the school year, right? And I think there are people who are in education that can appreciate it, but people who are outside don't. We've got over 2,500 students, right? We've got about 300 total staff members, all coming on essentially the same day, and you have to get them all into
It's a lot of moving parts.
certain rooms in a building, right?
Correct.
And to follow a schedule.
Right.
And it works. Every year it works, right? And it's something that's really impressive. The summer is just the organism taking a breath,
Yeah.
and then it's ready to get back to work.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I'm excited for you, and I miss that part of it. I know the energy level, the way it changes, and the expectations, and it's cool. It sounds like a lot of neat things going on at Stagg. So thank you for coming, and good luck. Have a good school year.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dave.
I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching Spotlight on Education. We've been talking with Principal Olsen and Associate Principal Augustyniak from Stagg High School. Thank you for watching.